Hey, what is going on guys? It's Carlos, and today we have a device that has changed the smartphone market back when its first generation was released and everyone was calling it the phablet because of its huge display that it sported. But now that's not the case anymore. We pretty much got used to these terms since phones started becoming bigger and bigger, packed with massive displays. And well, this is the Note 3 review from AT&T. Now the Note 3 probably has the most interesting design from its other brothers like the Galaxy S5, S4, well you get the point. It's removable back, it's not glossy plastic no more. Instead it's plastic leather which is made to look premium and gives the Note 3 a more elegant look. I personally enjoy this leathery plastic back since it doesn't get scratched up easily unlike the glossy back ones. Now jumping to the front of the device, it has stayed the same as all of the Galaxy lineup. It has the center button down in the middle and its capacitive buttons to the side of it. Even the same Samsung logo is still at the top like the S5 and the previous Note. Its power buttons on the right hand side and its volume buttons are on the left hand side. On the bottom of the Note 3 is the newly introduced USB 3.0 port that works with the special Samsung 3.0 cable that comes with it. And the biggest advantages to this are faster transfer speeds, that is of course if your computer supports USB 3.0, and it also allows for the Note 3 to be charged faster using the USB 3.0 cable. And for those wondering if this is backwards compatible with USB 2.0, yes it is. So don't think that you have to go out and buy a special USB 3.0 cable just to charge your phone if you happen to lose it. And right besides the USB 3.0 connection is the speaker. Now I personally hate speakers on the bottom of the phone since they're really easy to cover up when using it in landscape mode. Either way, the speakers on the Note 3 don't sound bad at all. They're pretty loud, everything sounds like it's supposed to, and when the volume is maxed out, it doesn't sound distorted. I actually use the Note 3 as my little portable speaker at work since I'm not a big fan of listening to music with headphones. I just turn the volume all the way up and drop it in my pocket, and it was pretty loud for my taste. And right besides the speaker is the S Pen, but we'll get a little bit more in depth with the S Pen later. And at the top of the Note, there is a headphone jack and a small IR blaster that is used with the Watch On app from Samsung to turn the Note 3 into your remote control. Now getting back to the front of the device, this is probably the best reason to get a Note 3. It's that gorgeous Super AMOLED 5.7 inch 1080p display that is packing a 386 ppi. I know it seems like a huge display, but this is what the Note lineup is all about. Now I'm coming from a small little iPhone 4 with a 3.5 inch display, and at first I thought, whoa, this is a huge phone. But I got used to it really quick, and after a while the Note 3 felt normal to me. The phone didn't feel huge at all after using it for a couple hours, but if you have smaller sized hands, it could be a bit of a hassle to use this phone as a one-handed device. And like every other Samsung device that sports a Super AMOLED display, the colors on the Note 3 were oversaturated. And Samsung still needs a bit of tweaking in that department, but everything on the display was super sharp, viewing angles were great, and viewing it outside was a bit of a problem sometimes. All you have to do was just turn up the brightness all the way up so you can tell what was going on the screen. And now it's really hard to go back to a smaller screen after using the Note 3 for a while. You don't even feel like the Note 3 is big at all. Now when it comes to specs, the Note 3 is an absolute beast of a phone. It's on a whole nother level. It's running on a 2.3 GHz quad-core CPU, 3 GB of RAM, a 13 megapixel rear shooter, and a 2 megapixel front facing camera. The Note literally runs everything like a champ. There's no lag at all, even though it's running on TouchWiz skin with Android 4.4.2. The most intense games run on the Note 3 with no lag. Scrolling through websites, multitasking, and having a bunch of tabs open still doesn't slow down the Note 3. I try my best to make it slow down, but it would just handle everything like a champ. Like I said, I'm just shocked on how beastly of a phone Samsung made, putting so much power in this huge device. And powering this crazy beast is a 3200 mAh battery. It's a really huge battery that they almost put these kinds of batteries inside tablets. Now I was getting a ton of usage out of this phone that I rarely had to charge. The only time I would see the charger was at night around 10 PM and my day starts at 4 in the morning. It lasted me well over 12 hours with regular usage of browsing the internet, using Spotify and seeing some YouTube videos, texting. Then I went a bit extreme on the battery when I took a trip to Cali from Washington. I had my GPS, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth running while using Google Maps and Spotify with my LTE on. And the Note 3 lasted me 5 hours till it hit 5% and needed to be charged. FYI, the screen was on the whole time. It just goes to show you that this battery life on the Note 3 is awesome. Now something that comes exclusive to this phone and the rest of the Note lineup is the S Pen. And I had a bit of trouble taking out the S Pen from the Note. It would sometimes get stuck, and then there were days where I didn't have any trouble with it. Anyways, the S Pen has a little button on it now that is clickable, and when you take out the S Pen from the Note, you're given a little circular menu with shortcuts of apps that use the S Pen, so you can access the S Pen apps quicker. I still don't see how I could use the S Pen on a phone, but it's on here because of its huge displays. It's really rare when I use it. I mostly use it to show off to friends, or I just give it to my son so he can draw and keep himself entertained. Now TouchWiz is the skin that all Galaxy phones run on, and the Note 3 runs on it too. It's an okay skin, but it's heavily bloated with features that some average Joes probably won't touch. Some of them being the air commands, where you're able to wave your hand across the device while the screen is off, and it will give you notifications of your missed calls, text messages, and battery life. Sort of like the active display that the Moto X has. And then you can also hover your hand on top of the device to view images without touching the screen. I can see how this is useful to some people, especially if you work in a dirty environment and don't want to dirty your phone, but eventually you have to touch it. Or you could just use it as another way to show off to your friends that you're not touching your phone, you're just waving your hand across the device and it's swiping right through your pictures. And probably the best and most awesome feature is the multitask window. I did use this on a daily basis since it's the best way to multitask when I'm doing certain things or researching topics on my phone. This is the feature that Samsung nailed perfect, and it's really been improving since the last time I used it on the Galaxy device. Now the camera on here is a 13 megapixel camera. It sounds awesome, right? Since most people get a phone based off the camera performance. And the Note 3 kind of disappointed me a bit every time I take a picture. For some odd reason, Samsung decided that it will overprocess some images to make them look more sharpened than what they were supposed to be. Some pictures come out okay when you're in that perfect setting environment, but when you're not, don't expect a perfect picture. The colors from the pictures that it took were okay, they're not oversaturated, and low light performance was somewhat in the middle since the image processing made it look like it had a bit more noise than what it's supposed to have. On the video side of things, this Note 3 is impressive. It's really impressive, I mean it. It has the ability to shoot at 4K, and OMG, the quality is insane. I love it. It has 4 times the resolution of 1080p, and the colors are very vibrant and it's not over sharpened as you can see from the footage. I downscaled this footage to 1080p for this video, and if you want to see it in 4K, there's a link down in the description so you guys can check it out. But yeah, the video of the Note 3 is awesome. I have nothing bad to say about it. Now the Note 3 that I have is being powered under AT&T, so your signal really depends on the area you're in, and I've been getting fantastic service. Everywhere I go, I've been on LTE. I haven't really seen it on 3G. So my download and upload speeds have been okay for the most part. I've been averaging around 20 down and 3 up, and then there are days I get 5 down and 3 up. So like I said, it really comes down to the area you're standing at. And call quality has been great on the Note 3. I haven't had any drop calls, and the people that I talked to said they could hear me just fine. So that's always great since this is still a phone and I call more people than I text. Now, it did take me a couple days for me to get used to this enormous size of the Note 3 since my hand could barely reach the power button, but once I did, it was really easy to use. I love the big screen like I said before, and it's really hard to send this review unit knowing that I will be going back to a 3.5 inch screen. I just don't want to send it back. Every other phone I used, I felt the screen too small and started to realize how perfect of a size the Note 3 was and how Samsung nailed it with the Note lineup. I couldn't really find a con not to buy the Note 3 besides its really overprocessed image that it takes and the way the setup menu is. It's really complicated to access simple things and you could get lost searching through the menu. But they can both be fixed with software updates. The only thing missing now is a Google Play edition of this phone so it could be running on stock Android. But if you're in the market for the best of the best smartphones, you may want to wait for the Note 4 or a price drop on the Note 3 considering the Note 4 is right around the corner. And if it's anything like the Note 3, I might just get it as a daily driver. I know some people might hate me for saying this, but this is the best smartphone out there right now. So this pretty much wraps up my review of the Note 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below of what you think of a giant phone like this. Will you ditch your smaller phone for this beast, or is this not your type of phone because of TouchWiz or because of its size? I want to hear your thoughts. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button on your way out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.